Hello, welcome. I'm Ruben Corrington, and today I'm going to be playing some Halo, the original Halo, and we're going to be looking at a really interesting level. We're going to be looking at... Oh, sorry, I'm playing my own stream in the background. Okay, we're going to be looking at a really interesting level, and that level is going to be the introduction of the Flood in 343 Guilty Spark. I'm going to be playing on Heroic just to give us a little bit of difficulty, because I can breeze through this game. I play this game a ton, and I want to talk about the level design, the atmospherics, and the introduction of one of the most contentious enemies in the original Halo. Some people hate the Flood, some people love them. Yeah. They're a subject of much debate. So, start off, we'll just wait for our Pelican to sphere. Anyway, start off and instantly very low visibility. Very, very difficult. This is unlike any level we've seen so far, which have all been very wide open spaces. You can see from a distance, and you can you engage the enemy, use your constant movement. This feels very claustrophobic. If you listen here, you can hear some interesting messages, the ambience giving us a mystery to try to solve. And this combines well. Now, Halo, as always, does a great job at leading the player forward. And this is something I will be talking about later with Dan on episode that we're going to do together on Halo. And so, just as you're kind of detecting this, enemies come, and that kind of leads you on to the next area, make it so you don't get lost, which is especially important in such enclosed spaces. Now note, we don't actually have the shotgun, which gets introduced in this level, because we're playing on a higher difficulty. On lower difficulties you actually get there at the Pelican. So we see, not only is there a crashed human dropship, there's also a crashed Covenant dropship. What the hell's going on? Everything seems to be in disarray. Doesn't seem to be any real conflict. We don't know why. We know that the captain's been here, and we see them shooting at something. Again, giving a sense of mystery. So far, the only enemies we've seen in the game have been the Covenant. Just dealing with these jackals. I love what jackals do to the gameplay, by the way. Now, ooh, allies. Is this an ally? Where's this ally? No, don't know where it's coming from. Pings on our motion sensor. Building up the suspense, building up the mystery. This is all good things. Anyway. We see this turret on the... turret leads us on. This isn't my favourite level design, just simply because, limit of the technology to a certain extent. But, to here, it's got lights leading the player on, and gunfire, instantly attracting our attention, explosion, loud noises, lots of movement on our motion tracker, and it gives us a fight so we don't get lost in the fog again. Halo does a very good job at constantly leading the player on, even in seemingly non-linear areas. Like here, but yeah, see, there are some issues, like I just fell down this cliff here, and now I'm gonna have to walk around. This is very annoying if you're not familiar with the layout level. So, definitely, Halo's not perfect, this level is not perfect, but the overall things it does are generally good, if you stick to the track. I have actually no idea how to get back. Okay, we can hear the original Pelican that we... Oh, okay, we're back at the Pelican. Excellent, the crash Pelican. So, that gives us our bearing again. But this is a long walk and really isn't what we want to be doing at this moment, because now we have to walk all the way back. we can see here how the lights are used to kind of illuminate this path up the side of the trunk. And same here with the trunk, light on the trunk, and then leading us toward the turret. So for the most part, it does pretty well. Now, something to note here is there are no elites. For hunters, it's just jackals and grunts. This does a couple of interesting things. One, it ramps down the challenge, right? These have not been super difficult encounters. And secondly, and that means you have more time to think about the kind of the suspense and the environment. You can go a bit more on autopilot, right? And that's been very deliberate. Secondly, it makes the jackals and grunts cower a lot more. They don't have a leader, and they don't have an elite, and that means they're far more likely to panic, which is kind of demonstrating what they should be feeling, right? As in, if they know about the thud, they're in disarray, and it really helps convey that, because if there is no leaders, it's very disorganized. Everything, you're ripping through them, but they were already disorganized before you got here. You're not the cause. Good bit of way that kind of not quite normal environmental storytelling. It's more like encounters, enemy encounters, are helping set the tone for the level. Another little thing that I like is that all the turrets and barricades are not to stop you getting in. They're actually, if you notice, to stop something getting out. While this wouldn't be obvious to a player playing the level for the first time, it's really nice little subtle things that help with repeated playthroughs. Okay. Done picking them off. Oi. We're doing that. See, look, the enemies are facing away from us. Yeah, that was pretty terrible. Grenade thrown by me. Yep. So we're going to continue on. Some gore, and the first hints at something different. Never seen anything like this before. Interesting. Let's continue. Needlers. Needlers are especially effective against grunts, and also pretty effective against the flood that we'll face later. Here we go. This is where it goes from subtle to not so subtle, and this is needed. Because different players are going to pick up on different things. But if you stay and listen, you can hear this whole story, and you can even see the story in the background here. This huge firefight, lots of broken debris, bodies. Not as many bodies as you'd suspect. Anyway, we're not going to listen to this rant here. I'm just going to kill him. You can actually just leave him. He will be gone later when you come back. The flood, get him. Yeah, note how there's also no elite bodies, but there is elite blood. Again, that's little storytelling. The elites have all been turned into combat forms. I don't like this jumping section here. It's a little... It needs another little rampy bit, just to be a bit more intuitive. But yeah, we're going to continue on. Some gore, and the first hints at something different. Never seen anything like this before. Interesting. Let's continue. But there's little minor things. And I'm also not a fan of these glass kind of traps that can have you just fall down. Generally, if something is like hindering the player, causing them to have to retrace their steps, that's generally not something I'm a huge fan of. Activate energy bridge, okay. Now, in true Halo form, we're going to be doing a bit of backtracking later, and these symbols, etc., will allow us to differentiate rooms, which will be important. But unfortunately, it doesn't always do as well as it should. And now we find our first human bodies. Okay, we're getting closer, and we're going to get probably what's one of the most, what's very important cinematic. Here we go. At this point, the player should be feeling similar to this, jumpy, on edge. They don't know what's going on. And the music here really helps with that. Classic horror, discorded notes. Okay, so this is classic show don't tell. They could have told us, you know, left us logs, left us, you know, kind of told us offhand what happens to Captain Keyes. This just conveys it in so much a better way rather than us having to do all the imagination.
Particular part of my history, that's fine by me.
Yeah, better it than us.
You ask them real nice next time you see them, Vicente. I'm sure they'll be happy to oblige.
LZ looks clear. I'm bringing us down.
Go, go, go! Stay close, Jenkins. Mendoza, move it up! Wait here for the captain and his squad, then get your ass inside.
Sir!
Okay, let's move!
Which is weird, right? I mean, look at it. Something scrambled the inside.
So this is the first time we've seen Elite this.
Plasma scoring?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was an
this
accident,
map.
you know, friendly fire or something?
And this is a room that we actually were just
What do we
in
have,
previously with the
Sergeant?
Crazy Marine.
Looks like a Covenant patrol. Badass elite units. All KIA.
Real pretty. Friend of yours?
Nah, we just met.
The Marines provide a great source of humour throughout the game too, which I'm very appreciative of in the very
Right, well, let's get
serious
this door open.
sci-fi world that
I'll
it
try,
sometimes
sir.
tries to be.
But it looks like these Covenant worked pretty hard to lock it down.
Just do it, son.
Yes, sir.
Something here is it's something that's pretty, you know, apparently locked down tight. He sure opens that door quick. Now, by taking control away from the player here, really, because we've been in such power for so much of the game, by kind of getting the viewpoint of a Marine here and not being able to move the camera ourselves, it really
What's
helps
going
amp
on,
attention,
soldier?
which is going to be which is going to be rewarded in a climax
Corporal!
shortly
Do you copy? Over!
of the big reveal.
Mendoza, get your ass back up to second squad's position and find out what the hell is going on.
But-
I don't have time for your lip, soldier. I gave you an order.
Sarge! Listen!
What is that?
Where's that coming from,
Everywhere.
Mendoza?
I don't... There! Mira! Hold still! Hold still!
Let him have it.
Sergeant, we're surrounded.
God damn it, Jenkins! Fire your weapon!
There are too many,
Don't
Sarge!
even think about it, Marine.
Oh, this is local!
Get back here, Marine. That's an order.
Jenkins!
So, we've seen the flood. Now to fight them. Where are the bodies? Anyway, so we're going to be introduced slowly one by one to the capabilities of the flood in a reasonably safe environment. Given infection forms, you can let these hit you pretty easily, and are a good way to introduce that you don't want to be touching them though, and that also given tons of assault rifles, because if you got a pistol and like some other Covenant weapon which it can't deal with it easily, this fight can get pretty annoying. Anyway, we're constantly moving around the room. This is really different to how you fight the Covenant. With the Covenant, you're kind of, well, with all enemies in Halo, you're kind of dancing, right? You're constantly on the move. Halo, a lot of the original Halo is all about movement. And with the Covenant, it's that you're moving forward and you're moving side to side and you're dancing around them in time with your shields. With the Flood, you're afraid. You're dancing away from them, always. Anyway, we're going to be introduced to the combat forms here. This is going to where the music amps up with the challenge. Now, these aren't. Rip them to shreds. Again, I'm constantly moving backwards, constantly moving back. And this is quite a different, quite a departure in the gameplay to how you fight the Covenant. Ow. Okay, we're gonna keep moving. I love here, escape with exclamation marks. Yeah, it's appropriate. You can actually tear off the arms and off the combat forms, as they often get up. Though I do really like that in the future Halo games that the infection forms become a lot more dangerous because they can resurrect the combat forms after they're fallen, which isn't true in the first Halo. Now here we're really quickly introduced. These are not friendly to the Covenant. And that's very important to establish really quickly. You don't want for those who are not haven't been paying as much attention to the lore, being like, oh, these are just a new type of Covenant. It kind of completely defeats the purpose and how they'll be treated in future parts of the game. You've got to make sure that. So this is a third force. This is another threat that isn't related to the Covenant, and that's important. I don't like how they've set up this route. Well, you're showing. Alright, I kind of do like that they show off their amazing jumping capabilities, and that you know, really giving us a nice sandbox for the new enemies. I don't like that they've got these underneath sections which allow them to kind of get stuck, like jumping through the floor, etc., which can be a bit awkward. Showcasing some of the weaknesses of the engine and the enemy AI. See here, they didn't really make the jump there. Alright. Oh. Okay. Now this is a really nice double take that I kind of like. We're here, we're feeling like, okay, we found the lift. Excellent, we're gonna get out of here. You're filled with hope. I'm actually kind of running low on ammo. No, also none of they're kind of staggering the abilities of the combat forms. None of these combat forms actually have weapons. Just like how they showcase the different abilities of the hunters earlier in the game, where they have them in both initially long distance to showcase their cannons, and then in short distance to showcase their like shield bashing. Here they're doing similar things with the oh, actually, this isn't the lift I thought about. Okay, so we went for the lift, and lift kind of exploded on us. Okay, we're gonna have to find a different way back. Take another weapon. Oh boy. Again, notice how I'm constantly retreating. Now I believe here is where we're introduced to the shotgun. What better level to showcase the shotgun than one where they introduce the flood? The enemy that wants to get up in your face. Alright, this was what I was talking about. Get rid of these annoying fiction forms. We found a lift. Take us up to the surface. Kinda takes us the wrong way. Ooh. Apologies. And this kind of takes us to level 2. They're now using weapons. We also get showcased to human style combat forms. Which just escalates the, oh my god, what the hell are these? Factor. Space zombies, to a degree. They're really amping that up. Because it's not necessarily recognizable that the combat forms we're previously facing were elites. Because people aren't as familiar with them. Well, when they say human, they're like, oh goodness. We actually get some humans playing here. These will These guys are like guaranteed to die, unfortunately. Especially at this difficulty. Anyway, this bridge is broken, so we have to jump down. A little annoying. While I admitted I didn't like the glass floors here, I do love shattering all the glass windows. I just don't like it shattering beneath us. Yeah, go away. Poor human. Ow. Alright, I think this is personally one of the weakest sections of the level. It's just so easy to get lost. I really wish they'd added a little bit more definition to their rooms, less copy-paste. But this is the original Halo. It's well known for its backtracking and copy-pasted rooms, unfortunately. It also uses some great level design outside of that. But its indoor spaces, indoor Covenant spaces especially, indoor Forerunner spaces especially, do tend to suffer somewhat. See, like this is complete dead end. It doesn't serve any purpose. It really confuses the player because it's a loop. You can really lose your sense of direction, and it doesn't feel very good to fight in there. See, look, like how hell am I going to remember if I came through this door or this door? Like, yes, I can see because there's bodies around there that this is more likely where I came from, but not always going to be the case. Like I said, one of my least favorite sections. You can see this multiplied in the library, which suffers from a lot of the same complaints. This platforming section here too is also far less obvious. There needs to be some light or something to make it clearer where you can jump. So I never noticed there was a health kit up here. That seems a bit silly. I don't even think you can get up there. Okay. How the hell did that guy get up there in the first place? Wow. Learning something new. Now there's another one section here that can get, that I think is less well, is slightly less well designed. Is that we're taught to backtrack, right, when facing the flood. Yet we have these areas here where the flood will constantly spawn until you push through, and that goes against how we've been trained to fight the flood, which can be unsatisfying. So now they will stop spawning through here because I've pushed through. But if I stayed back, they would actually keep spawning. Do we find similar issues in some of the later levels too? However, after that, now that that section, after such a great intro, and now that that lower quality section is complete, we can have one of my favorite battles. We showcase where we're escorting a whole bunch of Marines in some very dangerous territory. And this is a huge amount of Marines. You never get this much Marines apart from the beach assault in one of the previous levels. Silent Cartographer. Sorry, I'm blanking on the name there. But we're going to see just how poorly they handle the flood. And this is important to showcase. If to these unarmored or non-shielded Marines, every infection form is deadly. In this kind of territory, keeping infection forms away from you is a nightmare. One of the reasons I actually love this battle. You can't see, they're coming from every direction. Your allies getting whittled down really quickly, and it feels like the failure's on you. Gotta make sure they don't trail behind too far. See, and we're gonna get this really nice ambush here. This is where you're gonna start losing Marines. We're gonna get infection forms coming down the cliff. Look at our motion tracker just suddenly lighting up. And suddenly I'm in danger too. Where are my Marines? They're just gone. We just lost maybe 3, 4, 5 Marines.
I'm getting clear! Over here! I'm on it. Fire in the hole! Firing!
We're left with 3, 4, 5 Marines. Okay, we've actually done pretty well. Anyway, we've stopped here for the moment. Get pick up. So things won't go according to plan. This is nice. We've got this big structure here to center us, give us a sense of direction. We've got our Marines hovering around. And we've got good, reasonably good, clear line of sight. I don't like how long you can take the trigger, but we see something new. Sentinels. The mystery demons.
Here comes more! You can't hide from me!
So usually you're too busy fighting to notice.
That can't be all of them. I saw this one move! I'll keep him still! Hey, leave some for me!
You're right there, Sentinel. Anyway, once the battle's over,
Greetings. I am the monitor of
we get
Installation 04.
some very
I am 343
very cryptic
Guilty
messages
Spark.
and introduction of a new
Someone has
character.
released the flood. My function is to prevent it from leaving this installation, but I require your assistance. Come, this way.
And suddenly we're whisked off to the next level. Slightly unsatisfactory ending, in my opinion. But I really do enjoy the Marine Escort section. Anyway, that's going to be it for now. I'm not going to play through the library. Hope you've enjoyed me talking a bit about Halo, one of my favourite games. I played the original Halo way too much. Talking about, both the environments, the way that the combat flows with the Flood, and how the level build suspends. Yeah, thanks for watching.